Hi everybody, this is Chef India and this is Sauce, Spiced, and Smoked. Today we are going to make a very classic sauce. We're going to sauce it up today and we're going to make a marinara. So I know a lot of you guys like marinara sauce. We eat Italian cuisine all of the time. It's a foundation of sauce that you're going to see everywhere. And I want you guys to learn how to make this sauce on your own. When you want spaghetti or lasagna, we go to the store and we buy stuff that's readily available off the shelf. And who knows how long those things have been sitting on the shelves, and they have a ton of preservatives. So I want to show you how to make a marinara sauce. It's very easy to do. And yeah, once you learn how to do it, I'm pretty sure you're going to be making this sauce all of the time. So let's get into it. Let's talk about some of the ingredients that we have here. In our marinara sauce, we're going to chop up some garlic, yellow onion. We've got some fresh basil here. We're going to take a couple sprigs of this and chop that up as well. And that's going to be the foundation of our sauce. With that, we're going to add some Italian tomatoes. Now, we don't cut a lot of corners on this show, but when we do, there's certain things that I totally approve that you can get to make sauces. And one of them is Italian tomatoes. You can make this marinara with fresh tomatoes, but the best thing that you want to do is you want to go to your local grocery store or market and get you some imported Italian plum tomatoes. We're going to crush these up into our sauce, and this is what's going to make our marinara. Okay. In addition to that, we're going to season it with some salt and pepper. We're going to add a couple bay leaves, and to help kind of thicken it up in the cook down, we're going to add some extra virgin olive oil. We're going to actually make a gnocchi. Now, gnocchi is traditionally potato based, but you can make it with ricotta cheese, which we're going to do today. You can do it with sweet potatoes. I'm going to show you how to simply make a gnocchi, and with our ricotta here, we also have some flour, and then we're going to add some Parmesan cheese, an egg, and then we're going to whip that up. Before we get into all of that, let's do a quick shout out to our shirt sponsor today, Atlantaholics. This shirt is really dope. I saw it on Instagram. I just had to have it. If you want to check them out, they're at Atlantaholics with an S, even though the shirt ends up just saying Atlantaholic because it represents you and the love that you have for Atlanta. Go check out their shirt and all the other shirts that they have available. Go out and support. You know how I do with this show. So into our marinara, we discussed we're going to add garlic, onion, and basil, but we need to cut them up first. So we're going to start with garlic. We're going to mince it really well. We're just going to chop it down. We want it to kind of blend into our marinara really, really well when we actually put it in the pan and saute it. After your garlic, you need a half of one yellow onion. We're going to cut that down into small pieces as well. This is the classic style where you can get it to where you don't need to chop it up too much afterwards. And once that's done, you're going to put that to a side, and then we're going to add that to our pan as well. Basil. You can't have marinara without basil. Basil is what brings out a lot of flavor to this marinara. So with the onions and the garlic, we're going to go ahead and add a couple sprigs of basil. You're just going to take some fresh basil, roll it up. What the technical term is called chiffonade, but you can tear it, you can break it down into pieces however you want to do it. Just cut it down enough to where you can add it to your marinara sauce, and so that all that basil kind of circulates in the sauce and gives it more added flavor. Now that you've got all of your ingredients prepped, ready to go, we're going to go ahead and get a pan hot and ready. We're going to add some olive oil first. Once your olive oil is hot, ready to go, you're going to add your chopped ingredients. We're going to start with the onion and the garlic. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open up these cans of Italian tomatoes. So all you have to do is take them out the can, pour them into the pan, and then with your hand, I suggest using a glove, is go in and kind of crush them up. So the rustic style of marinara is you want like thick, crushed up pieces. It doesn't really necessarily have to be pureed. At the end result, if you want to puree it down to have a smoother sauce, you can. But for the classic rustic style of marinara, you're just going to break up those chunks of tomato, and it's going to break up even more as it cooks down. Seasoning. We need to season the marinara, right? We're going to add in our basil. We're going to add in a couple of sprigs of bay leaf. Between that basil and bay leaf, we're going to add some more flavor. It's going to cook down into your sauce. We're going to add some salt and pepper to taste. And then we're going to add a little bit of brown sugar. So a brown sugar addition is not truly your classic Italian grandmother addition. Normally without that, this is what a classic marinara would be. But However, I definitely think from the tomatoes, you need a touch of sweetness. So we're gonna add some brown sugar as well. Once you have all these things incorporated into your pan, we're gonna let this simmer and we're gonna go ahead and walk away and we're gonna go ahead and make our gnocchi. Ricotta gnocchi. Gnocchi is a Italian pasta and usually it's made with white potato, flour, egg, and you kind of make a dough and then you boil it. Today we're going to replace the potato and we're going to add ricotta cheese. So we're going to take a bowl. We're going to add some fresh basil. I think basil and gnocchi is always delicious. So we're going to chop up some extra basil. We're going to add that to our bowl. Then we're going to add our ricotta. And then we're going to add our Parmesan cheese. So Parmesan cheese and ricotta work really well together. That Parmesan is also gonna act as a binder as we're making our dough. And then we're gonna incorporate our other dry ingredients, which is going to be our flour. This is just simple, basic, all-purpose white flour. And then we're just going to blend this all together until a dough ball forms. And so you don't really need it to be hard dough, like really firm. It's gonna be really light, it's gonna be really fluffy. As long as you can work with it and kind of mold it a good bit is what you're really looking for. If you need to add more flour, please do. You really wanna make sure that it's not sticky to the point where when you boil it, it's gonna break apart because it's mostly cheese. You wanna make sure you have enough flour in there that when it boils up, that dumpling forms and it rises to the top, and then you know that you have made a good gnocchi. As we're just gonna take a portion of this dough, we're gonna flour a cutting board and we're gonna roll it out. We're just gonna keep rolling it out till it gets to be like this little long log here. And what we're doing this for is so we can kind of cut it in pieces. But once you have it floured and you have it rolled up, you have it ready to go, you're just gonna take your knife and you're just gonna cut it into, I would say, half of an inch pieces. However big you want them to be, doesn't matter. Just cut them to where you want them to be. We're gonna cut it, and then what we're going to do is, in traditional gnocchi fashion, is give it a little ridge indent. So you're gonna take a fork, and once you have that fork on the back of the fork, you just take your pieces and you just kind of roll them down, and then you get these beautiful ridges, and that's what you would see in a classic gnocchi. It's not necessary, but it is cool. It's fun to do. You can do it with your family, your friends, get everybody involved, being in the kitchen making gnocchi. That's kind of a fun activity when you're making this pasta dish. So once you have all your gnocchi pieces ready to go, you're going to salt some boiling water. I like to put in a little olive oil as well. That's another myth, that you don't necessarily need oil to boil your pasta, but salt is definitely necessary. Please salt your water for pasta. You want your pasta to taste seasoned, and salt is the way to go. But once you do that, you're gonna add your gnocchi, and once they start floating to the top, you're almost there. You want them to cook down for about 8 to 10 minutes. And always check one before you kind of dish it out, because sometimes you want to make sure that they're cooked through the center. But once they're done, it's time to plate up. This is so good. Like, you can never replace making something fresh and classic as a marinara paired with ricotta gnocchi. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please follow these steps. Please make this dish at home. Let me know your thoughts on how you came up with your own pasta, alterations to this, because all you really need, the foundation of this dish, is the sauce. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos from the sauce queen herself, Chef India. And this is Sauce, Spice, and Smoke, and we're gonna be doing this, just showing you guys how to really sauce, spice, and smoke up your life in a way that I hope that you start cooking more at home. So like, subscribe, click the notification button, and you'll always be in touch, and you'll know when we put stuff out. And hope you continue on a sauce journey with us. So I'm out. Peace.